What is going on, guys? Hope you're all doing very well. So 2 weeks ago now, we reached 500 subscribers on this channel, which is crazy and much larger than I thought it would ever be. So I also announced that I'd be doing my first Q&A video, because not only do I love watching them, but I wanted to make one of my own. So I'll be honest with you guys, I was a little bit nervous that I'd only get like 1 or 2 questions, but fortunately I was very, very wrong. So thank you to everyone who participated. And in my hand, I have all of the questions that you asked. And the way that I've organized everything is starting with some general questions and then ending with some more abstract ones. So let's get started. The first question comes from Chocolate Coconut, great name, who asks, what mic do I use? So I actually use a couple different ones. The ones that I'm using for this video are 2 Rode NT1s. So one on my left here and then one on the right. I also use a Blue Yeti microphone from time to time. And then I do have a Shure, I believe it's called the MV7. Very, very rarely, and that one's only when I'm doing more voice work than anything else. So it really depends on what kind of video it is, and that sort of dictates what microphone that I use. But the Rode NT1s are the microphones that you hear for most of the videos that I record. So, Gaming's Time asks, where are you from, and do you have another job besides YouTube? So I am from New York, a little bit outside New York City, about a half an hour away by train, and I have a regular job. YouTube is not my job, but that would be pretty cool. So I am an architect at a small firm in Connecticut. I'm sure some of you are like, oh, that makes so much sense. I'm sure people have noticed kind of the whole aesthetic thing. So Dawson360 asks a lot of questions about schooling. So basically where I went to school, what did I study, and if I plan to pursue that career path. So I think this person means college. So I went to Roger Williams University in Rhode Island and graduated all the way back in 2014. And I studied architecture, and I not only plan to pursue it, but I have been for, what is that, for the past 8 years now? Oh man, I'm getting old. So our next question is from M, who says, congrats. Thank you. How old are you? Where am I from? And one album that I will never get tired of. So I turned 30 back last September and feeling it more every day. Oh, half joking. I already said I'm from New York, and one album I'll never get tired of. That is a really good question. Hold on 1 second, because I actually do keep albums on the shelf behind me, and let me see if I can grab a couple. So let's see, these are all the CDs that I keep. It's actually a very small portion of my CD collection, but let's see what we have. A lot of Hippocampus, which is very good. I've mentioned them pretty much all the time. Here's the album. What is this called again? Transpose. It's an EP. The first EP by Bad Sons, which I really enjoy. Oh man, I have to pick one. Alabama Shakes, Sound and Color. Oh, that may be my number 1. Ooh, some Catfish in the Bottlemen. Very, very good English band if you guys don't know them. This is so hard. This album, Awaken My Love, so good. By Childish Gambino, if you guys haven't heard it. Like, kind of a great 70s vibe. And this album by Floor, I really enjoy as well. Oh, all those are great picks, but it really depends what mood I'm in. So this next one that I'm going to show you guys, I can listen to whenever. Just pop the CD in and listen to the whole thing. And it is Gary Clark Jr. Live. It is a 2-disc set here with a ton of tracks, and you guys should totally check it out. So let me just put these back quickly. So Isaac asks, what type of ASMR do you most enjoy? Ooh, that's a good question. I find that pretty much everything depends on what mood I'm in, but I will say the voice is probably my number one, and that is sort of what keeps me coming back to a particular creator's videos, is if I like their voice, I will pretty much watch everything they post. So next up, Kaiser Brian, who says, congratulations, thank you. Your videos are fantastic and highly professional. Ooh, I really appreciate that. You know, a lot of care goes into all the videos that you see posted here. My question is, what are your favorite triggers? So let's see. Probably number one, the voice, like I mentioned. Number two would almost certainly be the wood blocks. And then number three has got to be tapping sounds. Oh, just, there's something about, like, just the wood and the tapping sounds, especially when they're in the same video. I will be, like, falling asleep no matter what I'm doing. So Wasty22 says, congrats on 500 subs. I only just found your channel today and can't wait for more videos from you. Ooh, very, very kind words. Thank you for that. And my question is, who is your favorite ASMR channel? So I have mentioned this previously, and it always comes back to Dimitri's channel, so Massage ASMR, if you guys don't know that channel. I don't know how that would be possible. Dimitri's videos are so good. I had been watching Dimitri's videos for, I can't remember exactly, a very long time, since before I graduated from college. So I think I found him in 2013, before he had reached, I think he was at like maybe 9,500 subscribers when I saw his first video, which were these really, really great videos with the wood blocks. And I don't know, even back then, the recording equipment that he was using wasn't the greatest, but you know, he was just good, and you could tell. So I love all the videos that he's done, and it's a shame that he's not as active as he once was, but I do hope he's doing well. So Dimitri, on the off chance that you're watching this, just it's so good. I can't, we'd be here all day if I could just make a video talking about his videos. So let us move on to the next question, which comes from Isaiah, who asks, what are your top 3 ASMR artists that you listen to, and how did you find ASMR? So top 1 is Dimitri. Top 2 is a channel called It's Blitz, and that's run by Julia. If you guys don't know her channel, very, very good as well. Number 3 is Raffy Taffy. Just so good, so good. And also a channel that I've been enjoying a lot recently is called Till You Sleep ASMR. Really, really great videos and a lot of like those close-up style hand movements, which I really enjoy. And how I found ASMR. So I can't say that I found it per se. It's well, I suspect like a lot of other people, it's a feeling that I've experienced as long as I can remember. And then maybe about, oh goodness, how long has it been? Maybe about 15 years ago now, I started finding the kind of first ASMR videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that's what this is, and it all sort of kind of clicked. So that's how that happened. So our next question comes from Pandoricia. So sorry if I butchered that. Who says congratulations again? Thank you. You deserve it, and so much more. Really appreciate that. My questions would be, what made you start an ASMR channel? What are some of your favorite triggers? And do you prefer simple or complex ones? And then, sorry if you answered these before, but I'm a recent subscriber, so no problem. I love talking all things ASMR. So, it's actually quite interesting, and I think maybe it deserves its own standalone video of sort of the reasons that I started an ASMR channel. But a lot of it kind of falls with sort of everything going on in the world, especially when COVID was really first happening. I had been wanting to not... What's the best way to phrase this? I wanted to start making videos, and just with everything going on in the world, it was sort of like, you know, it just makes you realize, when am I going to do the things that I say that I want to? So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, to be honest, and I recorded videos for maybe about 6 months before I posted anything. And then I finally just had this moment. I was like, you know what? These videos, like, I know they're not as good as what they could be and what they will be if I keep at it, but if I don't post anything, I'm never gonna start. So I was just like, you know what? I gotta start. You never know what's gonna happen, and COVID kind of gave me that extra push to post my first video. So that's in a nutshell kind of how it all happened. There are some other reasons as well, but maybe I can expand upon that. But I feel like we're gonna be here all night if I continue rambling on. So some of my other favorite triggers, as we've just gotten to, the voice, wood blocks, tapping sounds. Actually add in like ramble videos. Actually that falls under the voice, but like water sounds and rain, hand sounds. You know what? I'm here for it all, pretty much. Let's see. Do I prefer simple or complex triggers? Like everything else, it seems it depends on my mood, but generally, I lean more towards simple triggers. But I do like complex ones as well. So like role plays, I find that for me to get the most out of a role play, it has to be one of those like hyper realistic ones, just because, like, I don't know, I love detail. I love like watching people use props, and it just kind of transports me in my mind. And I think what I'm kind of finding out is when I can really imagine myself in, you know, the place with them, that's when I get the most relaxed. So next up is from Spook, who asks, what made you start making ASMR? What's your favorite thing to do? Where could you go if you could go anywhere in the world? And if you could time travel, what point in time would you go to? All very interesting questions. So what what made me start making ASMR? Like I said before, I've been watching these YouTube videos for so long. They have just kind of, I don't know, become a part of my life. And I wanted to start making videos, so I just kind of said, you know what? What is something that I know I would enjoy making and would stick with? And it just seems after something's been with you for over a decade, you go, you know what? That's not going to be a passing fad. What is my favorite thing to do? Ooh, I have a lot of favorite things. One of the things I always enjoy most is throwing the baseball around with my friends, going biking, going hiking, taking photos. Oh, what else? I got a lot of favorites, to be honest. I love road trips, and a lot of times those kind of overlap. So, getting up early to go on a road trip to, take photos, for example. And let's see, if I could go anywhere. Ooh. Japan is the first that comes to mind. I don't know, everything about Japan just seems so interesting, and I just would love to experience it in person, followed closely by Australia, and not just because Dimitri's from there. I actually, everything that I've seen about Australia looks really cool, and I'd love to visit one day. So let's see, if I could time travel. Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I'd go back to the past, to be honest. I don't know. It seems like, we sort of already know about that stuff. So I'd go 100 years into the future, because I think that would be really cool to see how, certain things have developed. So let's see, our next question comes from Zach Pierre Scott, great name, who says, congrats on 500 subs, you deserve it. Thanks, Zach. My question is, if you could do something other than ASMR on your channel, what would you decide to post instead? That's a good question. So I'll answer this one in two parts, I think. So the first is, I actually do have some non-ASMR videos on my channel, which I think are still the most popular ones that I've ever done. So I have a computer build that I did, which is the current one that I'm using. And I also have some mechanical keyboard videos. So for part 2 of this answer, when I started this channel, I sort of figured that I could pull in all of these different things under the umbrella of ASMR and kind of do a bunch of different things that I enjoy. And that's what really keeps it fresh and fun for me, because I don't really like doing the same thing over and over again. So let's see, on to page number 2. So we're into a little bit more of the abstract questions, starting with a great name, which is Master of Mustard. I actually really do like mustard as well, who says, I just arrived from your collab with MZG ASMR. So if you guys don't know that channel, his name is Malcolm, and he was doing a video with his subscribers for hitting 100,000. And I participated in that one and was fortunate enough to be featured. So I will link that video down below if you guys want to check that out. So Master of Mustard has 2 questions. What are your goals as a creator? Things like total videos, channel age, sub count, things like that. Actually, this is a very good question, because I tend to be I wouldn't say a severe overthinker, but middle of the road overthinker, and the only thing that I really want to do on this channel is just make the best videos that I can. So with each one, just, getting a little bit higher up on the rung, so to speak, and that's what I really focus on. I think it's because, you can't really control, like, the response to your videos, so I focus more on, the things that I can control. And, I want to put out videos videos that I feel proud about. And, that is, as I trail off here, but that's kind of the only thing that I'm going for on this channel. So I appreciate everyone who's here and who helps support that. And the second question is, do you have any plans on making other channels on different topics like cooking, gaming, music, etc.? And also congrats on hitting 500. So thank you for that. That is an interesting question. I don't have any plans at the moment per se, but that is something that I would like to do in the future. So I'd love to have a dedicated photography channel, and I always enjoy like the YouTube photographer photo walks specifically, so I'd love to do something like that. The thing that holds me up from doing that is just, well, it's me. It takes me a very long time to edit those kind of videos. So, perhaps if this channel were to get larger, I could afford to get an editor. But I would absolutely love to do something like that. So, photography, a little bit of traveling, and definitely music as well, like, concert photography. I actually, just before COVID happened, I did really, really want to get into concert photography, and I had a few shows lined up, which unfortunately got canceled. So if you, I know this is a long shot, but if you're in a band and you need some photos, hit me up. I have some samples. We'll talk. Go to the information tab on my channel. My email address is there. So that brings us to some great questions from InsatiableSpark, who says you deserve it. Congrats. Thank you. My questions are, do you play any instruments? If none, what would you like to play? What's my zodiac sign? My favorite movie, my favorite song, and my favorite game. So let's circle back to my ability to play any instruments. So in middle school, actually elementary school, middle school, and then early high school, I played the trumpet. I was not good. I was the second chair, and I really did enjoy it towards the end. And I quit when it kind of came time to decide whether I would want to be staying in band or pursue sports. So I played baseball at the time and went that way. I do play a little bit of the guitar, although I haven't played in a while. How would I describe my ability? I think the biggest compliment to me is if I play a song and you can sort of decipher the one that I'm kind of going for, and you say, oh, is that supposed to be, that song? And I go, yes, it is. That's the highest compliment that I can get. So I would love to be better, but I just, to be honest with you guys, I'm just very busy, and I haven't been able to dedicate the time to that it would take. My zodiac sign, my birthday is September 13th, so I am a Virgo. Yes, by the way, for anyone that's wondering if it is Friday the 13th, Friday, September 13th, 1991 to be more exact. My favorite movie, that's a good one. Depends on my mood again. Tell me if that sounds like a broken record, but something that I can always watch no matter what is the original Bourne trilogy with Matt Damon. So the Bourne, Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum. Although the last one with Matt Damon was still decent, I refuse to see that movie with, I forget what Bourne movie it's called, with Jeremy Renner. I don't think it didn't look good when I saw the previews of it, but also my favorite Matt Damon isn't in it, so it's not a real Bourne movie. My favorite song, Now, one song that I can always listen to and it comes to mind immediately is Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind, which came out when I was in, I forget whether it was elementary school or middle school, but like all of my friends, when that song would come on the radio, would be like scream singing it. And like only a couple years ago, I looked up the lyrics and realized like it's just like, oh, the lyrics are so dirty. There's just like a ton of like drug stuff in it, and it's just like, were we really singing the song and we had no idea what it meant? It was wild. I guess like, you know, you just hear it, it sounds like kind of a beat, and you just don't realize what the lyrics are saying. And my favorite game. Ooh, this is a close one between Star Wars Battlefront 2 comes to mind immediately, or Uncharted 2. Uncharted, those games, I love them so much. It's the reason why I buy PlayStation instead of Xbox. But I have to say, if I had to pick between the two, it would be Battlefront 2. So these here are our last questions, and they come from Skinny T, and these ones are the most abstract of all. So the first one is, actually it's not a question at all, but says, you deserve it, you're so underrated, so thank you for that. I really appreciate your kind words. Do I believe in ghosts? Not necessarily. I don't not believe in ghosts, if that makes sense. I'm open to it. I guess the angle that I take is there's kind of so many unknown things in science that it's possible that ghosts exist. It's just until I see the evidence of that, I tend to lean towards them not existing. Now, when I first started photography, this is going to bring us on a wild tangent, but I used to photograph a lot of abandoned buildings, so I figured, you know, I was sort of just getting into it. If my photos wouldn't be the best, at least I could kind of go to interesting places. So that's the way that I approached it from. So I went to this one abandoned mental institution, and I have to say, if ghosts existed, that's where they would have been, because there was kind of a security guard that patrolled the area, and so you had to, how should I say this? Allegedly, I walked in when this person was kind of making their loop, and I went to this one area where it was basically the old morgue, and I didn't want to be detected, so I couldn't use a flashlight. And that is probably the most scared I've ever been in my life. And I went alone, of course, like a moron. So just like reading about the kind of place that it was and what they were doing to people. Like, if there was going to be a haunted place, that would be it. And I did not have any ghost encounters. What's my most traumatic memory? That's a spicy one. The one, I don't know if it's my most traumatic, but it comes to mind immediately. And, you know, it's been so long that it happened that, well, it's funny now. I was on a trip, a school field trip in middle school, I believe. And it was one of those where it was going to be to a place that was a couple hours away. So we got the, you know, the nice coach buses. And it was one of those that had a restroom in the back. So I remember this vividly because I was so thirsty that day and like chugged like this huge water bottle. And so like we're about an hour and a half into the trip on the way there, and I have to use the bathroom so badly. So I go in there, and all of a sudden, as I'm doing my thing, this bus hits a huge bump, and the bathroom door comes flying open. And like, it's one of those moments where it makes a loud bang as it hits the, you know, opens all the way up, hits the wall of the bus. and like my entire, it's like, it wasn't even like it was two separate classes that we were traveling with. Everyone turns around to see what that was, and I'm like, you guys get the picture. I don't have to describe, but oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. And like that even wasn't even on the trip back. Like we had like a whole nother hour and a half, and then like 3 hours back, and like it was so embarrassing. And like I slinked back to the seat I was sitting in, and there are probably more traumatic memories that I have than that, but just like that one was immediately top of the list. If you could be someone else for a day, who would it be? Oh, I love this question. There are so many people that I admire, to be honest, but if I had to pick like one, I would say this question, or this answer rather, might surprise some people, but Shaquille O'Neal. He's just one of my heroes, to be honest. I really, really admire him, and not like because of basketball or anything like that. I actually don't really like watching basketball or the game itself. I find it, sorry guys to people that watch basketball, but I think it's really boring. Just like Shaq's career, I love people that are like diverse. And well, one, he, like, this is how far into this guy's career I go. So Shaq has a rap album, if you guys don't know. It's called Shaq Diesel. It's like so awful, but in this like just endearing way. He's got 2 video games. The original one is called Shaq Fu, and the follow-up is Shaq Fu, and I forget the tagline. Just like, the dude is smart, like he's a great business person, like, I don't know, I just admire him on so many different levels. And he also had a show on ABC which was hilarious called Shaq Versus. And basically what he would do is, it would be like, the opening would be him, like, talking about, oh, sorry guys, I forgot to go over the premise of the show. He would take on professional athletes and try to beat them in their own sport. So it would just be him being all like confident about how he was gonna like come in there and just like, beat whoever, popular athlete at the time of like maybe 2006 to like 2008, I believe was the show's original run. And it was so funny, and just like seeing Shaq, like, I remember vividly seeing him in a football uniform, and it was hilarious, like how disproportionate it looked on him. So that would be my number one answer. Top 5 directors of all time. Now, this is the only one that I actually did notes for. So this is in no particular order. I actually, well, again, it depends on how I'm feeling, so I kind of threw all of my favorite directors on a list. Actually, there's 6 here. So, number 1, Catherine Bigelow. This one's interesting because I love Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker, and I happened to be looking both those up one day and realized they were by the same director. Wes Anderson. I always think it's interesting when there are so many different people doing something and someone distinguishes themselves with a particular style. Like, if you didn't know who was directing a movie and you went to the theater and you're watching it, you're like, oh, it's a Wes Anderson movie. Spike Lee, pretty much kind of for the same reasons that I like Shaq, is I think he's so well-rounded and he does like so many different things. I just really admire people who can bring a bunch of different things to different projects and aren't like afraid to do different things. Number 4, Ridley Scott. Just, guys, what else is there to say? It's Ridley Scott. Judd Apatow, because I love comedy movies and he has directed some of my favorites of all time. And then Christopher Nolan is the 6th. Now, I don't like everything he's done, but like Memento in particular is one of my favorites. And if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's so good. And it's one of those that kind of my favorite movies is, you watch it a couple of different times, and each viewing you pick up on a couple of different things that you didn't notice the previous time. So I love the way that the story in that movie is told. I love the plot devices that are used. So if you guys don't know, the way that the movie works is there are some scenes that happen in reverse chronological order and some that happen in chronological order, and they all kind of come together at the middle. So very, very cool execution of that idea, and it's one of my favorites. Awkward transition alert. Hey guys, it's me again. So for some reason, I thought that was the last question, but I'm editing this video and I realized that I missed a few. So Skinny T also asks a very existential one of, do you like who you are right now? So in general, I would say yes. And over the past maybe 2 years now, I've done a lot of, I would say, personal growth, really sort of attacking the things that I feel like I need to work on. But, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have my own things that I still need to work on and am continuing to do. But I feel like that's kind of life. You're always sort of a work in progress. There's always things that you want to sort of adjust. And I think it's always a bad sign if you're like, yeah, I'm just kind of the perfect person. Everything's great. I'm amazing, whatever. And I think that is when you realize that you have to maybe look inward a little harder. So we have a very interesting one. How would I prefer to die? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, even to be even more honest, death actually really, really scares me, especially as a kid. I would kind of be lying awake at night on occasion and just thinking about, like, I am going to be dead someday. And it, like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it would almost, like, give me a panic attack every time and just give me, like, these cold sweats, and I don't know, I just really felt like I couldn't breathe. And I don't know, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about that stuff, but I guess if I had to pick, probably just like in your sleep, because you go to sleep, everything's fine, and then I guess it's maybe like kind of the most peaceful way to go. But I mean, sort of to expand upon that, it's not like being dead doesn't scare me. I should, like, clarify. It's like the moment of transitioning from being alive to them being dead that really frightens me. So the next question is sort of following up on that. So opinions on the afterlife. Now, I have sort of, to boil it down and maybe give a kind of a boring answer, I don't know either, but to expand on that a little bit more, I sort of have two competing sides to my brain. The first and more logical side kind of says, just nothing, like it's sort of just a void, like nothing happens and it's just sort of blackness. I forget who said it, but there's kind of a quote about that. It's like, where were you during the Renaissance? And it's, sort of to kind of illustrate that. Or you could say, where were you before you were born? Like, you don't remember, obviously. So that is my more logical side. But then my more open side says, like with science, there's so many things that we don't know. There's so many things that we don't understand. And it's very possible that the afterlife is one of those things. So, depending, the pendulum sort of swings back and forth. And I'm sort of a little bit in the middle about it. So, you know, when I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful, I tend to lean towards like, you know, something's definitely out there where we gotta go someplace. Like, it can't just be nothing. And then when I'm feeling a little bit more down, you know, it's just like nothing's out there. It's just blackness, and it's like, you know, turning the TV off. Uh, and then it says, I apologize for the morbidity. That's okay. These are the questions of life and the things that we are all going through. So guys, that is the last question. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe got to know me a little bit better. And as always, I will see you again in another video very soon.